Hello everybody, my name is Pedro Senra. I'm one part of vCloud Air services and my role as architecting parts of the vCloud Air. Today we'll be talking a little bit in ways to connect your on-prem data center into vCloud Air. So I think the first question that we need to answer is, what is vCloud Air? So vCloud Air is infrastructure as a service provided by VMware and built on top of the proven and reliable infrastructure that we are using on our data centers, being Virtual Center, vCloud Network and Security, and the hypervisor ESX hosts. So when you sign up for the service, you'll get a pool of resources that are ready to use. You'll be provided with CPU, memory, storage, and networking. So once we have the networking, how do we actually connect our data center into vCloud Air? How do we plug the services? We deploy the services in there, but how do we access them? How do we consume? So the first option that we will talk about, it will be NAT. It will be insecure, it will go over the public network, so it's prone to attacks, latency, and so on. The good thing is it's very easy to set up, and it's there by default. The second option that we'll talk about, it will be IPsec VPN. It's a secure connection, it's encrypted, and that's what most of our customers are using to interconnect the on-prem environment and vCloud Air. The third option, it will be a direct connect. It's secured, and it will be provided by a network service provider. They will create the MPLS network, and it will allow us to stretch our network into vCloud Air. The fourth option, it will be data center extension. With a little configuration, we'll configure our environment to allow to move workload and the network into vCloud Air. So we'll look into each one individually. So we assume that on the left-hand side we have our on-prem environment connected to the public internet, and we have a virtual machine in our on-prem that, as traffic leaves from that environment destined to a vCloud Air workload, it will be SNATed at the on-prem environment. It will get into VCHS or vCloud Air, I'm sorry for that, and it will apply a DNAT rule along with firewall rules that are in place that will allow the flow to go in. So the traffic will then reach our virtual machine. As I said, the downside is there's no protection on that flow. So if we are not using protocols that offer protection, the traffic will go over the internet clear text. The second option there, it will be IPsec VPN, and what this will allow us to do is create a tunnel between a device, a VPN-capable device from your on-prem environment into the edge gateway that is available there on vCloud Air by default. So you create the tunnel, and all the traffic that is destined from the on-prem network into the vCloud Air network, it will be protected, it will be encrypted. So this is how the traffic will flow. One of the downsides, because it's a layer 3 technology, we're not allowed to overlap networks. So the network that they have on-prem cannot be the same that the one that we have in vCloud Air. The third option, it would be a direct connect. So we would engage, or we as a customer would engage with a network service provider. We would ask them to create an MPLS network between us and a meeting point that is allocated on the vCloud Air environment, and VMware will then create the connection from that meeting point where all the service providers will meet into the vCloud Air environment that is allocated for my organization. In this case, we can actually have another option that will be present the MPLS network directly into the vCloud Air organization. So the network is stretched that way, the MPLS network. The other option with Direct Connect, it will be plug it into the edge gateway, and that way it will be routed. The fourth option that we discussed before, it will be a data center extension. This will allow us to migrate the virtual machine, the workload, and the network that we have on-prem associated with that virtual machine. This will require a little bit more configuration. So on the on-prem environment, we need to have a shield edge gateway protecting the network where that virtual machine is connected. Once we have that, we'll deploy vCloud connector, server, and nodes on the on-prem environment. On the vCloud Air, we already have a multi-tenant node ready to go. We just need to register with vCloud connector server. Once that is done, we'll create an L2 SSL tunnel between the edge gateway on-prem and the vApp edge gateway that is deployed as part of this process. So once that is in place, we'll initiate the process of moving the virtual machine through vCloud connector. Okay. Now we can see that the two virtual machines will reside on the same IP address schema, so they will behave exactly the same way as if they were on the same network. And that will be the presentation for today.